Yo, what is up, guys? This is Awesome Sports 13 here, and today I'm on a call with Monster Jam Dallas.
Yo, what's up, boys? We're dirt racing right now, so wish us luck.
This guy's in New Mexico right now.
Yep, we're racing.
And I'll show you guys the field of trucks right now. And welcome to Sign Up Series number 37, the Christmas edition. This was long and it waited. Once again, I do apologize. I got extremely sick on Christmas. And I even still have it, if you can tell by my nose, but yeah, and I actually got something called chronic laryngitis after Christmas, which kind of sucked. And chronic laryngitis is when your voice box is inflamed for a very long time.
Oh, wow, Kyle Larson won.
And apparently Kyle Larson just won, so that's cool. And yeah, so we are here, finally, doing the event. So there are a grand total of 112 trucks in the series. Let's go ahead and go over the races. We'll kick things off with Bad News Travels Fast and Big Kahuna. We'll go down here. And yeah, it should be a very, very good series. Very long series, it should be. And we'll end off round number 1 with Monster Mutt Poodle and Brodozer. Or not Brodozer, Bulldozer. So yeah. Let's kick things off with a bang. And the long-awaited Christmas edition is underway. The first winner will be Big Kahuna getting the win over Bad News Travels Fast. Next up, we have Monster Mutt taking on Lumberjack. And Monster Mutt will get the win with a block. Next up, we have Scooby-Doo taking on Megalodon. And Megalodon will get the win over Scooby-Doo. Next up, we have the debuting Velociraptor taking on Calavera. And Calavera will upset Velociraptor. Next up, we have the Biker Zombie taking on Axe. And the Biker Zombie will get the win over Axe. Next up, we have Backwards Bob taking on Bakugan Dragonoid. And wow, what a race, but it's going to be Bakugan Dragonoid getting the win over Backwards Bob. Next up, we have Soldier Fortune Black Ops taking on Double Decker. And Soldier Fortune Black Ops will get the win over Double Decker. Next up, we have the Nitro Neon's Pirate's Curse taking on Full Charge. And Full Charge with the upset, getting the win over the Nitro Neon's Pirate's Curse. Next up, we have Bad Company taking on the Phased Out Earthshaker. And the Bad Company will get the win over the Phased Out Earthshaker. Next up, we have El Toro Loco taking on the Purple Son of a Digger. And the Purple Son of a Digger will take the win over El Toro Loco. Next up, we have Thunder Buzz taking on the Hyperfueled Max D. And the Hyperfueled Max D will get the win over Thunder Buzz. Next up, we have the Yellow Max D taking on the Inverse Alien Invasion. And the Yellow Max D will get, or not the Yellow Max D, the Yellow Zombie will get the win over the Inverse Alien Invasion. Next up, we have the Earth Max D taking on the Red Jester. And the Red Jester will get the win over the Earth Max D. Next up, we have the Elemental Trucks Max D taking on Monster Mutt Rottweiler. And what a race, but it's going to be Monster Mutt Rottweiler getting the win over the Elemental Trucks Max D. Next up, we have the Burn Victim Zombie taking on the Boneyard Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. And it's going to be me getting the win over the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior Boneyard. Next up, we have Wolf's Head taking on Sparkle Smash. And what a race, but it's going to be Sparkle Smash getting the comeback win over Wolf's Head. Next up, we have Max D taking on the Nitro El Toro Loco. And the Nitro El Toro Loco will get the win over Max D. Next up, we have the Surfer Zombie taking on Stinger Unleashed. And wow, what a race. But Stinger Unleashed will get the win over the Surfer Zombie. Next up, we have the Earth Horsepower taking on the Zombie Monster Mutt Rottweiler. And wow, what a race. But it will be the Earth Horsepower. Next up, we have the Black Max D taking on the Nomad Avenger. And it will be the Black Max D getting the win over the Nomad Avenger. Next up, we have the Monster Jam Stunt Truck taking on Brodozer. And wow, what a race, but it will be the stunt truck getting the win over Brodozer. Next up, we have the phased out Dragon taking on Superman. And Superman will get the win over the phased out Dragon. Next up, we have Racing Stripes taking on Octonator. And what a race, but it's going to be Octonator getting the win over Racing Stripes. Next up, we have the phased out Northern Nightmare taking on Boogie Van. And Boogie Van will get the win with a block. Next up, we have Team Mence taking on Dragon. And Dragon will get the win over Team Mence. Next up, we have the Zombie Blue Thunder taking on Maximum Destruction. And Maximum Destruction will get the win over the Zombie Blue Thunder. Next up, we have Crustacean taking on the Earth Dragon. And the Earth Dragon will get the win over Crustacean. Next up, we have the debuting Ranger Rescue taking on Horsepower. And wow, what a race, but it's going to be Horsepower getting the win over Ranger Rescue. Next up, we have the Mercury Monster Mutt taking on the Global Avenger. And the Global Avenger will get the win over the Mercury Monster Mutt. Next up, we have the Orange Tired Monster Mutt Rottweiler taking on the Neon Son of a Digger. And the Neon Son of a Digger will get the win over the Orange Tired Monster Mutt Rottweiler. Next up, we have Time Flies taking on the Steel Reveal Blue Thunder. And it will be the Steel Reveal Blue Thunder getting the win over Time Flies. Next up, we have the Split Paint Job Avenger taking on Iron Outlaw. And what a race, but it's going to be Iron Outlaw barely getting the win with a block. Next up, we have Raisin Cane taking on the Neon Sparkle Smash. And the Neon Sparkle Smash will get the win over Raisin Cane. Next up, we have Jurassic Attack taking on Wildflower. And Wildflower will get the win over Jurassic Attack. Next up, we have Saigon Shaker taking on Rage. And Saigon Shaker will barely get the win over Rage. Next up, we have Nightmare taking on Storm Damage. And Nightmare will get the win over Storm Damage. Next up, we have Yeti taking on the Surfer Soldier Fortune. And the Surfer Soldier Fortune will get the win over Yeti. What the hell happened to Yeti? Next up, we have Blue Thunder taking on the World Finals 20 Avenger. And the World Finals 20 Avenger will get the win over Blue Thunder. Next up, we have the Nitro Max D taking on Rainbow Blast. And Rainbow Blast will get the win over the Nitro Max D. Next up, we have the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the Nitro Neon's Dragon. And the Earth Dalmatian will get the win over Dragon with a block. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Husky taking on the World Finals 16 Bounty Hunter. And what a race, but it's going to be the World Finals 16 Bounty Hunter getting the win over Monster Mutt Husky. Next up, we have the Hyperfueled Alien Invasion taking on the Surfer's Octonator. And the Surfer's Octonator will get the win over the Hyperfueled Alien Invasion. Next up, we have Excalibur taking on Ice Cream Man. And Excalibur will get the win over Ice Cream Man. Next up, we have the Nitro Neon's Octonator taking on the See-Through Crew El Toro Loco. And the See-Through Crew El Toro Loco will get the win over the Nitro Neon's Octonator. Next up, we have the Zombie El Toro Loco taking on Northern Nightmare. And Northern Nightmare will get the win over the Zombie El Toro Loco. Next up, we have the See-Through Crew Max D taking on the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. And the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior will get the win over the See-Through Crew Max D. Next up, we have the 2003 El Toro Loco taking on Earthshaker. And what a race. But it's going to be Earthshaker getting the win over the 03 El Toro Loco. Next up, we have Stone Crusher taking on Aqua Stallion. And Aqua Stallion will get the win over Stone Crusher. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on Salvager. And Monster Mutt Dalmatian will get the win over Salvager. Next up, we have the Lucas Stabilizer taking on Batman. And the Lucas Stabilizer will get the win over Batman. Next up, we have Alien Invasion taking on the Inverse Bakugan Dragonoid. And the Inverse Dragonoid will get the win over Alien Invasion. Next up, we have Soldier Fortune taking on Higher Education. And Higher Education will take down Soldier Fortune. Next up, we have Gravedigger taking on the Silver Wolf's Head. And the Gravedigger will get the win over the Silver Wolf's Head. Next up, we have Swine and Dash taking on Whiplash. And Swine and Dash will get the win over Whiplash. Next up, we have the Zombie Dragon taking on Kraken. And Kraken will get the win over the Zombie Dragon. And the final race of round 1 is going to feature Monster Mutt Poodle and Bulldozer. And it'll be Bulldozer getting the win with a block. Alright guys, here's our matchups for round number 2. And we'll kick things off with Big Kahuna and Monster Mutt. And round number 2 is underway. The first winner will be, what a race to kick off round 2. And it will be Monster Mutt beating out Big Kahuna. Next up, we have Megalodon taking on Calavera. And what a crappy race, but it will be Calavera getting the win over Megalodon. Next up, we have the Biker Zombie taking on Bakugan Dragonoid. And Bakugan Dragonoid will get the win over the Biker Zombie. Next up, we have Soldier Fortune Black Ops taking on Full Charge. And Full Charge will get the win over the Black World... Soldier Fortune Black Ops. Next up, we have Bad Company taking on the Purple Son of a Digger. And what a race, but it will be Bad Company getting the win over the Purple Son of a Digger. Next up, we have the Hyperfueled Max D taking on the Yellow Zombie. And wow, what a race. But it will be the Yellow Zombie getting the win over the Hyperfueled Max D. Next up, we have the Red Jester taking on Monster Mutt Rottweiler. And Monster Mutt Rottweiler will get the win over the Red Jester. Next up, we have the Burn Victim Zombie taking on Sparkle Smash. And Sparkle Smash will get the win over the Biker Zombie, or not the Biker Zombie, the Burn Victim Zombie. Next up, we have the Nitro El Toro Loco taking on Stinger Unleashed. And the Nitro El Toro Loco will get the win over Stinger. Next up, we have the Earth Horsepower taking on the Black El Toro Loco. And wow, what a race, but it will be 2 seconds here. The Black El Toro Loco getting the win over the Earth Horsepower. Next up, we have the Monster Jam Stunt Truck taking on Supperman. And wow, what a race. Look at that finish. Monster Jam Stunt Truck gets the win over Superman. Next up, we have Octanator taking on Boogie Van. And Octanator will get the win with a block. Next up, we have Dragon taking on Maximum Destruction. And, sorry, bad camera work. Maximum Destruction gets the win. Next up, we have the Earth Dragon taking on Horsepower. And the Earth Dragon will get the win over Horsepower. Next up, we have the Global Avenger taking on the Neon Son of a Digger. And the Neon Son of a Digger will get the win over the Global Avenger. Next up, we have the Steel Reveal Blue Thunder taking on Iron Outlaw. And Iron Outlaw will get the win over the Steel Reveal Blue Thunder. Next up, we have the Neon Sparkle Smash taking on Wildflower. And Wildflower will get the win over the Neon Sparkle Smash. Next up, we have Saigon Shaker taking on Nightmare. And Saigon Shaker will get the win with a block. Next up, we have Surfer Soldier Fortune taking on the World Finals 20 Avenger. And the World Finals 20 Avenger will ride. Next up, we have Rainbow Blast taking on the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian will get the win over Rainbow Blast. Next up, we have the World Finals 16 Bounty Hunter taking on the Surfer's Octanator. And the Surfer's Octanator will get the win over the World Finals 16 Bounty Hunter. Next up, we have Excalibur taking on the See-Through Crew El Toro Loco. And Excalibur will get the win with a block. Next up, we have Northern Nightmare taking on the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. What the hell was that start? And he gets the win with a comeback. No way. And he actually did. Next up, we have Earthshaker taking on Aqua Stallion. And Aqua Stallion will take the win over Earthshaker. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the Lucas Stabilizer. And the Dalmatian will get the win over Stabilizer with a block. Next up, we have the Inverse Bakugan Dragonoid taking on Higher Education. Inverse Dragonoid will beat Higher Education. Next up, we have Gravedigger taking on Swine and Dash. And Gravedigger will get the win over Swine and Dash. And the final race of round number 2 will feature Kraken and Bulldozer. And the winner will be Bulldozer. Alright, you guys, here's our matchups for round number 3. And we'll kick things off with Monster Mutt and Calavera. And round number 3 is underway. The first winner will be Monster Mutt, getting the win over Calavera. Next up, we have Bakugan Dragonoid taking on Full Charge, who has been doing really well in this series. And it will continue as he beats Dragonoid. Next up, we have Bad Company taking on the Yellow Zombie. And wow, that is really, really close. It's looking like the Yellow Zombie, though. And it is. He'll get the win over Bad Company. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Rottweiler taking on Sparkle Smash. And Sparkle Smash will get the win over Rottweiler. Next up, we have the Battle of El Toro Locos. The Nitro and the Black. And it will be the Black, I think. And I don't know if you can tell. Wow, that is really close. But as you guys can tell right there, the Black El Toro Loco will barely beat the Nitro. Next up, we have the Monster Jam Stunt Truck taking on Octanator. And Octanator will take down the Stunt Truck. Next up, we have Maximum Destruction taking on the Earth Dragon. And the Earth Dragon will barely take down Maximum Destruction. Next up, we have the Neon Son of a Digger taking on Iron Outlaw. And Iron Outlaw will take down the Neon Son of a Digger. Next up, we have Wildflower taking on Saigon Shaker. And Wildflower will take down Saigon Shaker. Next up, we have the World Finals 20 Avenger taking on the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian. And the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian will take down the World Finals 20 Avengers. Next up, we have the Surfer's Octonator taking on Excalibur. And the Surfer's Octonator, I think, and he did block Excalibur. Next up, we have the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior taking on Aqua Stallion. And wow, what a race! And as you guys can tell by the top of your screen, the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior will take down Aqua Stallion. What an upset. Next up, we have Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the Inverse Bakugan Dragonoid. And the Inverse Dragonoid would take down Dalmatian. Next up, we have Gravedigger taking on Bulldozer. And Gravedigger will beat Bulldozer. And by the way, that was the last round of round number 3. Alright guys, and here's our matchups for round number 4. And we'll kick things off with Monster Mutt and Full Charge. And here we go. Who is going to the quarterfinals? And Monster Mutt will take down Full Charge. Next up, we have the Yellow Zombie taking on Sparkle Smash. And Sparkle Smash will take down Yellow Zombie. Next up, we have the Black El Toro Loco taking on Octonator. And wow, what a race, but it will be the Black El Toro Loco taking down Octonator. Next up, we have the Earth Dragon taking on Iron Outlaw. What a race, but it will be Iron Outlaw getting the win over the Earth Dragon. Next up, we have Wildflower taking on the Earth Dalmatian. And the Earth Dalmatian will take down Wildflower. Next up, we have the Surfer's Octonator taking on the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior. And the Great Clips Mohawk Warrior will advance to the quarterfinals. And the final race before the quarterfinals, or of the round before the quarterfinals, round number 4, will feature the Inverse Dragonoid and Gravedigger. And it will be Gravedigger. Alright guys, and here's our matchups for the quarterfinals, but as you guys can tell, we need a fast loser, and the winner will play Gravedigger. So, it will be Full Charge against Octonator. Who's going to the quarterfinals? And it will be Octonator. Alright guys, and here's our quarterfinals for Sign Up Series number 37, the Christmas special that is coming out on January 13th. So, inside of Monster Mutt, we have Monster Truck Racing. Inside of Sparkle Smash, we have hashtag DDM. Inside of the Black El Toro Loco, we have Dupe Goop. Inside of Iron Outlaw, we have AJ Duval. Inside of the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian, we have Hockey Arcade and Coins. Inside of Mohawk Warrior, we have Savage Boy 84. Inside of Gravedigger, we have Smurfs to 1. Inside of Octonator, we have Mike Monster 27. So, who is going to the semifinals? Who is going to the semifinals? It will be Monster Mutt. Next up, we have the Black El Toro Loco taking on Iron Outlaw. And it will be Iron Outlaw. Next up, we have the Earth Monster Mutt Dalmatian taking on the Mohawk Warrior. And Mohawk Warrior is somehow still in this. And who will face off against Mohawk Warrior, Gravedigger or Octonator? And it will be Gravedigger. Alright guys, and here is our semifinals for Sign Up Series number 37, the Christmas edition. Inside of Monster Mutt, we have Monster Truck Racing. Inside of Iron Outlaw, we have AJ Duval. Inside of Mohawk Warrior, we have Savage Boy 84. And inside of Gravedigger, we have Smurfs to 1. So, who is going to the championship race of the Christmas edition? And who is going to the championship race? And it's going to be Monster Truck Racing in Monster Mutt. And who will he be taking on? Mohawk Warrior or Gravedigger? And it will be... It's close. And it will be Mohawk Warrior. Alright guys, and here's our championship race of Sign Up Series 37, the Christmas edition. I don't know how the hell this truck is still in it, but I don't know how. We are all laughing our asses off because if he wins this, This is gonna be ridiculous if he wins this. This will easily be one of the best memes on my YouTube channel, is Mohawk Warrior winning the biggest event ever on my channel. So, here we go. Inside of Monster Mutt, we have Monster Truck Racing. Inside of Mohawk Warrior, I don't know how, but somehow he's still in it, we have Savage Boy 84. So, Savage Boy 84, good job. You are probably Racer of the Year if you win this. And we're only in January, so. And the winner of this sign-up series is going to be none other than. That's what I thought. It's going to be Monster Mutt. Congratulations to you, Monster Truck Racing and Monster Mutt. You have won the Christmas edition, the biggest event on my channel. No offense, bro, but you shouldn't have made it this far in Mohawk Warrior. We were all rooting for you. We were all rooting for you for the memes, but unfortunately, you could not come out with the win in the end. Savage Boy 84, congratulations on making it this far in such a shitty truck. But, yeah, better luck next time in Series 38. So, yeah, guys, this was the event. So I'll see you guys in the next video.